And Anastasia Churkina, I think, is live there.
I now give the floor to the representative of Vietnam.
Mr. President, Vietnam is deeply concerned about the situation in the South Ossetian conflict zone as tensions are rising in the region. We especially regret last week's and recent incidents which led to numerous fatalities, injuries and displacements. My delegation holds that force cannot resolve the conflict, but rather will destroy all hopes of finding solutions. In that spirit, we call on both Georgia and South Ossetia to exercise restraint, put an immediate end to the military activities, strictly observe the agreement on non-resumption of hostilities, and renew direct talks towards a comprehensive and durable solution to the situation and preventing its relapses. My delegation commends and supports Russia's attempt at finding mutually acceptable peaceful solution to the conflict. We believe that such initiatives are necessary to end the mounting violence and bring the situation back under control. I thank you, Mr. President.
Je remercie le représentant du Vietnam de sa déclaration. Je donne à présent la parole au représentant de la Croatie.
Thank you, Mr. President. My delegation would like to join others who have expressed their grave concerns about the latest developments in Georgia, especially with regard to the current heightened tensions and the reported fighting and exchange of heavy fire between Georgian armed forces and the forces of the Georgian region of South Ossetia near the area of Skin Valley. We note that a number of casualties have been reported on both sides, and in this regard we welcome Georgian President Saakashvili's call for the bloodshed to end. Croatia believes that the sides should promptly invest credible efforts to reduce tensions, including with an immediate ceasefire, so as to remove the danger of further escalations. Croatia urges all sides to refrain from any further acts of provocation and would welcome an immediate resumption of negotiations. My delegation is also concerned with reports of volunteers coming from other conflict areas of Georgia, which could have a destabilizing effect and could signal the widening of the conflict. Croatia would like to use this opportunity to reiterate once again its support for the sovereignty, independence and territorial integrity of Georgia, as was confirmed in relevant Security Council resolutions, including Resolution 1808. Finally, Mr. President, Croatia takes note of President Saakashvili's repeated offer contained in his letter circulated to the Security Council of 7 August 2008 in support of his peace plan from 3 years ago that contains near unrestricted autonomy and local governance for the area of South Ossetia and would welcome a return to peaceful negotiations within that framework. Thank you, Mr. President.
Je remercie le représentant de la
Croatia for his statement.
Je donne à présent
And I give the floor to the representative of Indonesia.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We are deeply concerned by the latest situation in Georgia. The potential for further escalation of violence is real. Almost invariably, such spiraling of violence would have serious humanitarian implications among vulnerable population. Much, therefore, is at stake. My delegation deems it important that the cessation of hostilities be established, that the parties exercise maximum restraint, including from expressing inflammatory statements. While recognizing the obvious challenge, it is important that open lines of communication be established between the sides at the highest level, and that confidence be established and nurtured. In the final analysis, there is no substitute to dialogue. This open line of communication must be coupled by tangible efforts from both sides in ending bloodshed. Mr. President, at this crucial hour, it is pertinent for the Council to act collectively and in unison in expressing concern, in calling on all sides to exercise maximum restraint, de-escalate conflict and violence, and for them to embark on emergency talks in a timely manner. My delegation attaches great importance to the Council's role in managing rapidly evolving crisis. We therefore very much regret the fact that despite obvious common and shared concerns, the Council is yet to express its collective view on this very important issue. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Je remercie le
Thank the
représentant de
representative of Indonesia for his statement.
Je vais maintenant
And I
faire
give the,
une
I shall now
déclaration
make
en
a
ma qualité
statement
de
in my
représentant de la Belgique.
capacity as a representative of Belgium.
La Belgique voudrait exprimer sa
Belgium
vive
would like to express its great concern at the situation prevailing in South Ossetia, Georgia. Those tensions have already led to a number of loss of human life and casualties, and in the face of this very worrying deterioration of the situation in the region, Belgium calls upon all parties concerned to put an end to the military operations and to demonstrate moderation. Belgium calls upon all parties to accept an immediate and unconditional ceasefire and to work with the international community for a rapid restoration of the dialogue. I now resume my functions as President of the Council, and I give the floor to the representative of the Russian Federation. Thank you, President. Unfortunately, I must note that the statement by the permanent representative of Georgia at today's meeting has included many contradictions. On the one hand, the representative of Georgia said that Russian Federation is controlling everything in South Ossetia, but at the same time said that Russian military seem not to be in a position to control the separatists. If Russia does have military and aggressive intentions, as the representative of Georgia said today, then why has the Georgian party, over a long period of time, refused to reach an agreement on the non-use of force in the Georgian South Ossetian and Georgian Abkhazian conflict, which would guarantee to Georgia any attempt against any attempt by the use of force by any parties? In listening to the permanent representative of Georgia, it would seem that South Ossetia forces are attacking Tbilisi, and in fact the situation, as we all know, is quite the contrary. I'd like also to dwell on the point that was made during today's discussion in the Security Council during the consultations that we held today. We were not able to react clearly to today's events, and we were not able to send an unambiguous signal to both parties, including to Tbilisi, on the need to put an end to violence, on the need to reject the use of force. The reason for the incapacity of the Security Council to develop a clear signal and response to these events, unfortunately, represents the absence of any political will amongst the members of the Security Council. And this has been demonstrated, unfortunately, during today's discussion in our open meeting. I'd like to dwell on another aspect. Indeed, I did speak of this in my statement today, and this was also heard in the statement by the representative of the United States. That is that over recent days, Moscow and Washington have been in contact, and it seemed to us that there was a certain mutual understanding about the need with our American colleagues to take steps which could put an end to the escalation in the conflict. But in the statement today in the Security Council, the representative of the United States only once, and that was against South Ossetia, a condemnation. And this in order to find a clear political description of Tbilisi's attacks, the Georgian armed forces who are trying to attack South Ossetia, this position, this political position, is is one of the main reasons for the situation that now exists, this critical situation that exists in the Georgian South Ossetian conflict. I'd like to hope that today's meeting of the Security Council was useful and will be seen by Tbilisi as the unreadiness of the Security Council, one of the leading institutions of the international community, to accept the attempt to resolve the long-standing Georgian South Ossetian conflict through armed aggression. Thank you, President.
Je remercie le représentant de la Fédération.
I'd like to thank the representative of the Russian Federation for his statement. I shall now give the floor to the representative of Georgia.
Mr. President, very, very shortly I want to reiterate on a few issues that was raised by my very respected colleague, Ambassador Churkin. First of all, I probably didn't make quite clear. I was saying that Russian side explained to Georgian side that they had no control over the South Ossetian regime. That's why the things were getting out of hand. I didn't say that the Russians really don't have, the Russian security and defense services don't really have the control of the armed forces of the separatist regime. And the reason I really demonstrated very clearly who are the core decision makers in the South Ossetian government, the ex and current FSB and defense officials, was precisely for that reason, for you to understand who is really making decisions in Tkhinvali. On the other issue, I would like to really stress that we welcome the cooperation of the Russian Federation and the United States, which is now happening on the high level to ease the tensions and to de-escalate the situation. This is exactly what Georgia wants, and this is exactly what is proposed by the President Saakashvili actually recently last night to the televised address, and this is exactly what we are offering our friends on the negotiating table, because the State Minister of Conflict Resolution, who was willing to go there, actually went to Tkhinvali twice and was rejected by separatist regime to negotiating. He was bringing these same proposals. So I would also close my remarks with the hope that reason will prevail over this situation, and both sides and the Russian Federation as well will come to the negotiating table and will be resolving this conflict in a peaceful manner. Thank you very much.
Je remercie le représentant de la Géorgie de sa
déclaration.
Il n'y a pas d'autres
There are no further speakers inscribed on my list. The Security Council has thus concluded the present stage of its consideration of the item on its agenda.
À l'ordre du jour, la séance est levée.
The meeting is adjourned.